Hello friends, how are you? I think you must have been fit and fine, and this is Parvesh Chaudhary. I welcome to all of you on this learning platform, and today we are going to discuss about the Government of India Act started, right? Especially the Crown Rule started in India first time. You know what? I would like to request to all of you. I humbly request to all of you that please subscribe the channel. If you didn't subscribe yet, then please subscribe the channel first and give your precious likes, comments, and share as well. Thank you. So let's move on the topic. This is the, as you can see on the screen, here is mentioned Government of India Act started and the Crown Rule started in India first time, right? Let's move on the very first screen on your computer system that you can see over here, that Government of India Act, it was introduced in 1858. And let's see what happens as per this act. The very first line, as per this act, the control of the British government India was transferred to the British Crown. You know what it means. The first time the British government was going to assess all the Indian territories which was under the Company Act, right? East India Company Act. And in the next very line, the proclamation promised to respect the rights of Indian princes and disclaimed any intention of extending British conquests in India. What it means here, the British government further made in proclamation means this declaration promised to respect the rights of Indian princes. They promised to respect the rights of Indian princes and further disclaimed that they didn't have any intention of extending British Empire in India. Okay, and let's move on the next line. Here is mentioned that promise to pay due regard to the ancient rights, usages, and customs of the people and follow a policy of justice, benevolence, and religious toleration. What it means, they further promise to pay the due regard to the ancient rights, old ancient rights, Indian rights, and their usage and customs traditions of the people, and they will follow a policy of justice, equal justice to all, and benevolence, welfare plans, and freedom of religion. Religious toleration means freedom of religion. And let's move in on the next line here. Proclamation further declared that all will be qualified to enter the administrative services on the basis of their education and ability, irrespective of race and creed. What it means? It means they will further are going to announce that all the eligible candidates, Indian candidates, they can make an entry in administrative services. You know what? As what it means, administrative services, higher services like ISPs, PCS like services. Okay, and on the basis of their education and ability, they will be hired as per their education and ability, right, as per their education level and ability level. Okay, and further they announced that it would be irrespective of race and creed. Either you belong any caste, creed, or religion, that doesn't matter, right? So it was basic features of Government of India Act, which was introduced in 1858. Let's move on the next act. Right here you can see on the screen, Indian Council Act 1861. Let's see what happens as per this act. Here are the main features, right? The very first feature, the three separate presidencies, Madras, Bombay, and Bengal, were brought to a common system. What it means? It means the Madras, Bombay, and Bengal merged all together, and they were brought to a common system. And the act added to the Viceroy's Executive Council a fifth member, a jurist. You know what earlier, what happened earlier, that there were the fourth member, and now an additional member was added in the Viceroy's Executive Council. Further, it was called Governor General of India. Now it is being called Viceroy's Executive Council. Okay, I hope you understood. Let's move on the next line here. Viceroy's Executive Council was expanded by the addition of not less than that 6 and not more than that 12 additional members for the purpose of legislation. What it means? It means here, students, that there was a condition of Viceroy's Executive Council was expanded, that there should not be less than 6 and not more than 12 additional members for the purpose of legislation. And in this line, fourth point, the legislative power was to be restored to the Council of Bombay and Madras, while councils were allowed to be established in other provinces. In Bengal in 1862 and Northwest Frontier Province, NWPF, in 1886, Burma and Punjab in 1897. What it means here, a further proclamation was made, right? As per this proclamation, that a power was to be restored in the Council of Bombay and Madras, and it was the earlier at the time of British East India Company. Okay, the same pattern had been followed here again, and while councils were allowed to be established in other provinces as well, like in Bengal in 1862 and in Northwest Frontier Province and WPF in 1886 and Burma and Punjab in 1897. I hope you must have understood, right? And now that this is the last point of this Indian Council Act, here Lord Canning had introduced the portfolio system in 1859 first time. What it means, what is portfolio system? It means they given some special privileges or rights to the government of states, that in the special conditions, if they think rational, they can they can make decisions by own right, but in special conditions. So it was basically called, it was called portfolio system. I hope you really have enjoyed this little session, and I really need your support, your love, your compliments really matter for us. So please keep supporting, keep watching the channel. In the future we'll moving towards the grow this channel. So I really we really need your support, guys, your students, right? Thank you so much for watching this video, and this is the time to say goodbye. We will meet again in the next video. Thank you so much.